I haven't been here in a while. They've changed the dining room. What do you need?
Warden, let me know if there's any assistance I can give you. We have much to do and little time. We need to do all that we can in the few days left to us before the lands meet.
Hello again, Warden. It is good that you came to speak with me. I realize that my actions at Howe's estate may not have painted me in the best light. For that, I apologize and hope that we can start again. I will be blunt. I can see that your voice will be a strong one in days to come. It is to you that Eamon listens, and with good reason. My father must be stopped, but once that is done, Ferelden will need a ruler. I would welcome your support for my throne. For years, I have ruled this kingdom as Caelin's queen. As much as they loved Caelin, all of the Banon knew this to be so. Caelin was a good man, but what is needed now is not another good man, but a good ruler. I sent Alina here not solely because I thought I needed help, but because I saw an opportunity for us both. I need your support, Warden, and you will need mine. Do you disagree? You are a fellow Grey Warden. What do you think of Alistair's potential to rule? Never mind his willingness. Alistair seems like a kind, well-meaning man, and biddable enough. These are admirable qualities, if not kingly ones. He also seems to be a fine Grey Warden, which is exactly why he should remain one and serve the kingdom by defeating the Darkspawn. Caelin knew of Alistair. It was Arl Eamon that kept Alistair out of the courts, as Merrick had desired. Oh, there are some who would follow Alistair out of respect for his Therin blood. The others would see this as Eamon grabbing for power. Who else do you think Alistair would turn to for help? Eventually, the nobility would return to the old days of constant warring with each other. Alistair's weakness would destroy everything Merrick built. My feelings towards Alistair have nothing to do with it. I barely know him. I simply believe that I am what this country needs. I will fight for what I believe. Would Alistair do the same? Thus, I say again, I would welcome your support for the throne if you would give it. I agree that there is much to be done before the lands meet, but don't you think plans should still be made for what will follow? I do. No? You're a Grey Warden, and despite the fact that my father will paint himself as the only one who can protect the country from the Blight, it is not so. Secondly, you saved Arl Eamon from a plot that no doubt had its origins in Hal's sick little mind. People will not forget that. You are competent and powerful, and in the right place at the right time. Used to your advantage, these things could bring you far. That is exactly what I am proposing. When the time comes, you support my bid in the lands meet to remain on the throne. You will be seen as my father's enemy, yet you will be in support of his daughter. You will be seen as supporting the interests of Ferelden, as opposed to solely those of the Grey Wardens. In return, I add my voice to yours. Do you see? Together we can do what alone we cannot. He is my father, as well as a great general, who has served his nation well until now. If there is a way for him to live, I would prefer it. I will always be my father's daughter, but even I know he must pay for his crimes. It will not make me glad, even so. Does that affect your decision? Can we yet come to an arrangement? Ignoring that the man looks so much like Kalen, my recently dead husband, if you'll recall, my main fear is that he might govern like Kalen as well. But it is true that Alistair has Theron blood. To some, this is more important even than practical considerations. A union might be considered a compromise, but is this something Alistair even desires? Let me say this. If Alistair is willing to stand back and allow me to continue governing the nation, then I would be willing to have him as my king. It is my understanding that governing does not appeal to him anyhow. If that is so, this is a compromise I can live with. Do you foresee me agreeing to place an untried, unwilling man on the throne otherwise? One whose largest decisions to date have consisted of which shoe to put on first? If it will settle matters more quickly, I am willing to agree to this. But only if it will benefit Ferelden. Do so. I will be interested to hear what he has to say.
So I'm guessing someone told Anora I was planning to steal her throne. She has a nasty glare. Did anyone mention this wasn't my idea? I think she's a great queen. As far as I'm concerned, she's welcome to it. Really? Whatever will give you that idea? Well, it's nice that you think so. What do you think I should do? Go ahead and be king, just to let it happen? Marry her? As in marriage? As in be her husband? You've spoken to her about this? You did, didn't you? Why would you do that? Did you take a blow to the head? That's crazy. I don't know that at all, no. You'll have to do better than that, I think. No. Not perfect. Not perfect at all. I don't trust Anora any more than her father. And I'm certainly not going to marry her. Go and tell her whatever you think best. But I can't do it. Even if it means I have to be king myself. I'm sorry.
Well, have you spoken to my lucky betrothed yet? Or will we be reduced to passing notes? Oh, that's a shame. But hardly unexpected, really. Consider it forgotten. Now, as for the alliance we were discussing. Once I am queen, I will be in a position to grant you whatever you wish. And I shall. Alistair might promise you the same, I suppose. But I would ask which is better. The gratitude of a weak king, or of a strong queen. And even if it is not for you, think of what I could do for the Grey Wardens. Think of what I could do for your people. I trust I have made my point. Tempting. I think, however, that the Landsmeet would never accept an elf as my consort. I can see the benefits of what you propose, perhaps, but... No. It is impossible. That is good to hear. So, we have a deal, Warden. I trust you'll keep your end of the bargain. Now, I suppose, comes the task of dealing with my father. That will be no small feat, of course, but I am certain you already know this. I imagine you have much to do. Is there anything else you needed from me? Ask me whatever you like. Of course it does. Do you think me heartless? But how much worse would I be to calmly stay at the side of a man who murdered my husband? It seems a strange word to describe a marriage our parents arranged when he was newly born and I still in swaddling clothes, but yes, I loved him. He was reckless, impetuous, and charming. Had he not been king, he would have made a dashing rogue for a band of players. We were a good pairing. He would not have wanted the burden of ruling any more than I would have liked to remain the silent wife in my husband's shadow. It was more than just my own loss, but I thank you all the same. Calen was so idealistic. The world was his storybook, and he was the hero. My father is different. He's an idealist too, but he knows what idealism costs. They often clashed, but never seriously, never for long. Calen would always come around to Father's way of thinking eventually. And then the Blight came. Calen dreamed of uniting all the nations of Thedas against the Darkspawn. It was a dream. He wouldn't surrender. What my father saw, however, was the boy he had swaddled inviting Orlesian troops back into the land he had fought to free of them. And for once, my poor, foolish husband wouldn't back down. They would not believe it, most of them, even from my lips. Loghain is the hero they've looked up to their whole lives. Far easier to believe you or me a liar than him a murderer and tyrant. That's why it will be critical to find some way to discredit him before the lands meet. We must have proof of my father's crimes for the bands, or they will never believe us. Ask me whatever you like. Well, he was once a farmer when he was a boy, if you can believe it. I never could myself. He's useless with plants, for one thing. I remember my mother once asking his help with a sick rose vine. My mother oversaw the rose gardens personally. He touched it. No more than that. And it shed half its leaves like a dog with mange. She never asked for him to help with her roses again. He bought her another one, though. He carried it back from Denerim with the branches overflowing his saddlebag. Despite the thorns tearing him bloody, he wouldn't let anyone else take it. He wanted to be the one to present it to her. My father has his faults, Warden, but he is far from common. Trust would perhaps be putting it too strongly. My father knew what Howe was, and while I despised the man, I knew that Father relied on his political mind. I expect my father thought himself above being influenced by the snake. Truly, I wonder how many of these acts stemmed from Howe and not my father at all. We may never know. I'm not sure. I had no inkling of my father's plans until Calen was already dead. I would like to think that my father planned for the worst, but did not truly decide that Calen was a lost cause until that moment in Ostagar. The alternative is difficult to imagine. I hope not, but I fear it is so, yes. Because he believes he is right, Warden. He thinks he is the only one who can see Ferelden out of its current crisis, even if it is one he helped engineer. My father is capable of remarkable blindness, but it stems from his love of Ferelden. That is the saddest part of all, I think. Then I wish you luck, Warden.
It shall be done.
Yes.
Yes.
What now?
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Wrecked from Origin.
There's nothing more to say. Pester someone else.
Whoever you are, Wait. I know you. My son described you in great detail. He tells me that I owe you his life. You see me at a loss. I suppose I have yet to recover from the shock of seeing Oswin. I am Ban Sigurd of the Dragon's Peak Benorn, and I owe you a debt of gratitude for your kindness to my son. Is there anything you would ask as a reward for saving Oswin? Thank you again. Know that I will stand behind you at the Landsmeet with all the support I can muster. In fact, I'm taking my supper today with Ban Reginalda of the White River Benorn. I'll speak with her about this at once.
How fares your brother?
I had hoped to see him while I was in town, but he's made himself scarce. Every time I've called at the Chantry, he's been away. He answers none of my letters.
That doesn't sound like Ermenric. I'm sure he's merely busy.
Perhaps. I'll call at the rectory again tomorrow. May I help you? This is Ermenric's. Explain yourself. My brother would no more part with this ring than with his head. He's alive, then? Please, if you have any news of my brother, I would hear it. A dungeon? What? No. I will go to him at once. Someone will answer for this. Take this with my thanks. It has been in my family since the War of Crowns, crafted for us by the Circle of Magi. An heirloom is a small thing compared to my brother's life.
I heard there was quite a scuffle in the alleyways. Well done, Warden. Don't worry, Warden. Some friends have rescued the boy. He's already safely home back with his father, his very important father. You took care of the father's other requirement. The man who kidnapped his son, Captain Chase, is quite dead, thanks to you. We are told only what we need to know. That's an assassin's life. All you needed to know was your target. Any more information you got was really a bonus. That I can't say. But in time, I think you'll find out. Crows are hired for their discretion, as well as for their performance. I've nothing more for you. Your payment is in the chest. I hope you find it most satisfying. My superiors want me to convey their thanks. The Crows aren't accepting any new contracts on you. And when this blight ends, we'd love you to visit Antiva to discuss other opportunities. I did what I had to do, but there's no more need for word games. The Civil War brought many old grudges to a boil. You'll be pleased to know that those contracts helped your own cause, some more directly than others. After all, it is not in the Crow's best interest that the Archdemon wins. Just visit us in Antiva when all is said and done. And I was expecting the same. But our order has survived the centuries because we always uphold our deals. Like I said, sending Zebran after you was nothing personal. We've determined you are a far better ally than an enemy. Just remember our offer. We could really use someone with your talents. It's time for me to take a vacation. Caesar has a special stock of wares that might interest you. It was a pleasure working with you, Warden. Luck be to you.
Will you be attending the funeral?
What can I get you, stranger?
No.
What can I get you, stranger? Right, I'll show you around. What can I get you, stranger? The blight sickness brought by the dark spawn is spreading faster than anyone thought. Several sources say that it's even here in Denham. From what I hear, there's an outbreak in the elven alienage in the city. Others tell me that's not true. Still, it's a frightening thought. Anything else you need?
Maker's blessings upon you, Warden.
Welcome back. What can I get for you, honey? Wait here. Here they are. Aren't they beautiful? Remember, 40 silver up front. Go ahead and choose then.
Right this way. Hey, sexy. Do you want to take a look at me ditties?
I shall do it.
Magic
Did you hear? Androste's ashes have been found, here in Ferelden too.
Mother Vorlin said that's just some hoax.
Mother Vorlin's a half-blind old cow. Everyone knows Andraste came from Ferelden. It makes sense they'd bring her ashes back here.
Those ashes are so old they'd be dust by now. I don't believe any of it.
Should we be... Wait, someone's listening.
You sure? I'm nervous as a cat in a kennel. We're asking for trouble.
Quiet. We haven't done anything.